What's up everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to take a look at Solana and figure out if this is going to be the top for Solana. Is it going to keep going up? Is it going to start dumping? And if you want to get in on Solana, if you missed out on this massive pump, you want to get in, we're going to figure out exactly which levels that we are going to be looking at to get Solana. And most importantly, we're going to draw out some levels where Solana might be finding the top at. So if you want to find all of those things out, I want you to watch till the end of this video. But right before we get into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter at _theartofcrypto, you're going to want to do so. This is where I'm sharing the latest market updates. And I really hope you guys watched my Polkadot video yesterday, because I called this level on Polkadot. Look at where the price came into, bam, right, beautiful. But the reason why I'm telling you to take a look at Twitter is because I recently started getting into NFTs and I've been making an absolute killing. Now, I'm not shilling this as a way to make money, but if you're interested in art, if you like the artwork and you want to make some side cash, you know, this could be a method, right? And a lot of these NFT projects, right, it literally pays to be in their Discord server early on. And I believe that this is an NFT project that could do pretty well. And the reason why you want to be in the Discord server early on is because you don't want to be fighting against everyone, you know, paying $500 in gas to try to get an NFT, right? If you're in the Discord early, you tend to be able to get included in the pre-sale. I will leave the link to the Discord in the description box below. Make sure you check it out. If you like the art, go for it. If you don't, you know, skip it. So Solana, immediately, right off the bat, let's start things off by saying this. I really do not recommend you to short Solana, okay? I've made a video, in fact, I've made multiple videos about this coin called AXS in the past, right? And a lot of people were getting wrecked, absolutely wrecked, shorting AXS, right? This thing ran up about 20x, right, in about a little bit over 1.5 months, right, or a little bit under 2 months. So this goes to show, right, yeah, sure, you could have been able to catch this move right here, which I called both on YouTube and in my private Discord server, but I'm not going to get into that. Sure, you could have made 50% here, you could have made good money, right, shorting, right, there's another 29% there. But notice how the impulse is towards the upside, right? And when it comes to trading, the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is that the trend is your friend. You do not want to fight against the trend. You can fight against the trend, but the impulse, when it's to the upside, you're going to make way more money trying to look for long opportunities rather than try to fight it, right? And just because something has went up almost 100% in like 3 days does not give you reason to start shorting it. Again, when the impulse is towards the upside, it can be very irrationally going to the upside. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's figure out exactly which levels you should be looking at for Solana in order to buy. So the first of which is going to be the previous all-time high over here at $58.6. Now, the reason you're going to want to mark down this level is because usually, right, once you break a level of resistance, and this is what the previous level is, right, this was supposed to be resistance. So usually what happens when you break resistance is you tend to get, right, a retest. And this right here is what you call flipping resistance into support. Now, does it always flip resistance into support? Not exactly, but there is a pretty good chance that it will. So immediately, right off the bat, if you are looking for buys into Solana, you're going to want to pay attention to this level at $58.6, right? The price might come just a tiny bit below this to stop out all the liquidity before moving upwards. But this is if Solana does pull back to this area right here, this is going to be an area of interest that you're going to want to buy. Now, if you do want to short Solana, I will get into what you should be looking for later on. But for now, let's discuss the long opportunities, right? And the next long opportunity that I'm going to be looking out for is going to be this bullish order block right here, right? You could argue that it's this entire block right there. So in order to get a clearer picture of what's going on, we're going to have to zoom in a little bit to a lower time frame. Now, let me just bring it over here and extend it, right? So all a bullish order block is, all you need to understand about a bullish order block, or rather order blocks in general, is the fact that these are areas of untapped liquidity that institutions like to push the price to in order to fill their bags, right? Just to give you an example, to just to show you that this thing works, the last bearish block before a massive move upwards is what you call your bullish order block. So this right here would have been your bullish order block right here. And just take a look, right? After this massive move upwards, look where the price retraced back to, right? Look at where the price came to and then it bounced, yeah? And that might not look like a lot, but that's That's easily like 6 to 7%, right? Maybe 8%. And I don't know about you, but you could make really good money catching 6 to 7% swings, okay? So that is just like one instance of that working, right? So this is your bullish order block. Look at where the price comes into, right? Bam, right? Again, this over here, that's your bullish order block. Look at where the price comes into, right? Bam, straight, bang on, right? And then it just keeps going, right? And at the moment, you can see that the last bullish order block we have that has not been filled is right over there. So I'm going to want to mark down that level right over here as my first bullish order block that I'm going to want to start buying Solana at. And I'm going to mark down this level right here at about 45.8, right? If Solana does pull back to this area right here, expect it to bounce off of here, right? This is going to be the first entry that we are looking for. And if we do, right, enter into Solana on that bullish order block, then we're going to want to do dollar cost averaging, right? Because the price might just dip just a tiny bit below before bouncing. So if you had $1,000 to play with, I would put in $500 on the first entry and maybe $500 on the second. This is called dollar cost averaging, and pretty much every trader that knows what they're doing is dollar cost averaging. Now, this is assuming that this order block is going to hold. And if you were playing just based off of this order block right here, you're going to want to set your stop loss just right below, right, at 42.6. Now, I know this might seem like 5 to 6% of a stop loss, but you have to understand that when it comes to order blocks, your take profit target is easily at the previous high. So that's going to be like that, right? That's 68% of a target, and you're only having about 5% of a stop loss. I don't know about you, but that like a 1 to 12 risk to reward, right? 1 to 13 risk to reward ratio, I'm cool with that, right? I would take that any day. So this is going to be your first entry, right? At 45.8 and 44.9. Now, this is assuming that this order block holds. But remember, if we do go out to the daily chart, you can see that this, in fact, is the order block. So if we go back onto the 8 hourly and figure out exactly if there is another area that we can start dollar cost averaging. So if you were playing according to this order block right here, then this would have been your stop loss. But if you were playing to the entire order block in question, then I would switch my entry up just a tiny bit. Instead of dollar cost averaging only 2 areas, I'm going to want to dollar cost average about 4 areas, right? So if you had $1,000 to play with, what I would do is maybe 200 here, maybe 300 here. So if you had $1,000 to play with, here's what I would do. I would maybe put in $200 in the first entry, maybe another $200 there, and then 300, right? Just to give you an example, this is what you call scaling in. So I know, again, the stop loss is going to seem really ridiculous, right? If we, let's say, put it somewhere in the middle here, the stop loss is about close to 10%, right? But if this daily order block, remember this order block is happening on the daily chart right now. And if this order block holds, there is a very good chance that Solana is going to go form new all-time highs, right? New way, like super high all-time highs. So whatever the case, I tend not to give entries that don't have a good risk to reward ratio. Just because the stop loss seems a bit far, you just got to manage your risk. Okay, so the levels in question, right? If we do get a pullback of Solana back to that level, it's going to be 45.8, 44.9, 43.465, and $41.9. This is on the Binance Perpetual Futures chart, so make sure you scale the levels accordingly to whichever exchange that you're using, or even if you're using spot. The stop loss is going to be at about $39-ish, right? So that's going to be your bullish entry for Solana in case we do get a pullback, right? Along with $58.6. Now for this entry, I would actually suggest maybe just keeping a straight up percentage, maybe 5%, 6% of a stop loss, and your profit target is going to be at the previous high, right? Same thing. So this is again 5%. It's a 5%. So again, this is a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio trade. Should play out pretty well, but this level right here at 58.6, this is going to be riskier, okay? Ideally, you want to pull back to the order blocks, but if you don't get it, you can start scaling in here. Again, I really recommend you to manage your risk properly. That is the single thing that determines, a successful trader from a non-successful one. So what about shorting? So shorting, similarly to bullish order blocks, right? If we do start dumping from here, right? Just first up, right? Before we get into anything else, you're going to want to look for this level right here at about $60, right? You're going to want to look for this level at $60.6. You want to look for this level to be broken before you start shorting, right? So here's how it's going to look like if you were trying to short. So I'm on the 4-hourly chart right now. If Solana starts dumping right here and it breaks below this level, right? Nothing moves straight down, right? I know Solana has moved straight up, but nothing moves straight down, nothing moves straight up, right? At least not all the time. So what you're going to get, I want you to visualize this with me. if Solana starts dumping right here, what's going to happen? Right, what's going to happen is that this is going to be a bearish order block right here, the last bullish candle before a massive move downwards. That is your bearish order block. So what you're going to do is, once Solana breaks this level, you're going to want to look for it to pull back into Solana, right? We are planning ahead right now, and you're going to want to enter right there at 69.145, right? This is assuming that Solana pulls back right after I post this video. And if you do get that, this is going to be your entry. As for your stop loss, you're going to want to put your stop loss right above the previous swing high. And so this is going to be, again, almost 10% of a risk to reward ratio, but your profit taking target is going to be at the order block, right? Again, this is a 30% trade. I don't know about you, but the risk to reward ratio is pretty good to me. And the reason why I say this level is really important to watch for is because if you do break this level, you're going to have a break of structure on the 4-hourly chart. I never ever recommend somebody to short something unless you get a break of structure, and then you just play the order blocks, right? If you break the structure here, that means you just formed a lower high, right? So picture it like this. Here's a low, here's a high low. Sorry, here's a high high, high low, potentially high high, high low, high high, high low, high high. If you get a low here, then that's your lower low. And if you fill the bearish order block here, then that's going to be your lower high, right? I'm thinking a few steps ahead, and that's how I recommend you guys as traders to start to think as well. So that is the only scenario where I would consider shorting. Of course, you can apply this to, any future developments that might occur on Solana, or you could apply this to any other coin, as long as you remember to use at least the 4-hourly chart, okay? Again, for 99% of people out there, I really do not recommend you to go anything under the 4-hourly chart, right? A lot of beginners are going to be there on the 1 hour, or like maybe on the 1 minute chart, and they're going to be like, yo, we got bearish divergence on the MACD, on the RSI. Guys, you're on the minute chart, right? Have the big picture in mind, right? Even when I'm trading on the 4-hourly chart, I'm looking at the daily chart as my higher time frame, right? Always have a higher time frame. If you're using the 1 minute and maybe you have the 5 minute or the 15 minute as your higher time frame, then yeah, sure, feel free to take your so-called bearish divergence, but just take my advice, right? The 4-hourly chart is going to work wonders for most people. Now, if you feel like you've learned something new during this video, I want you to drop a like on this video. It's a small gesture, but it really, really helps a lot. So that's going to be entry number 1, and that's going to be entry number 2. This is going to be entry number 3. Right, make sure you mark down these levels that I'm giving you, because I'm literally giving you the exact levels right now, and if you can't even be bothered to mark down those levels on your own chart, there's nothing more that I can do for you. So if we go back onto the 4-hourly chart, and now we're going to draw a little bit of fib action right now. So if you can see, this massive move here began from this swing low right here. So we're going to want to use this swing low as the low point of this fib, and we're going to want to use this swing high as the high point of this fib. So your third entry, which in fact we have already seem to have gotten, is the 0.618, right? Somehow we have already gotten back to this level during this retest here, right? Somehow. But if you do get a pullback to the 0.618 level, you're going to still want to look for it to hold, right? The 0.618 is going to be 62.85, and most importantly, take a look at where the previous all-time high is, right? The 0.5 fib, look at where it lines up with our previous all-time high. So coincidence? I think not. If you do get a pullback to this area, you can 100% start getting Solana, right? I'm going to mark it down at about $59, right? $59 to $58.6, as well as $62.85. If you do get it, right, go for it. It would be better than buying, at absolutely the middle of nowhere. So those are going to be the 4 entries of Solana that I'm going to be looking at. I hope you've marked down those levels. And right now, let's figure out exactly how high Solana is going to go, right? And we're going to do that by drawing fibs. So previously, I was drawing a fib like this, right? From that swing high, from this swing high to this swing low right here. And it actually seems to have been playing out really well, because if we just go onto a 4-hourly chart, and you can see that my fibs have been pretty much spot on, right? Resistance here, you've got support here. Generally, it's been working out pretty well. So what I say, and what I would recommend for everyone who's using fibs, is if you get a fib that works really well, right? You find that the levels have been respected, stick with it. And usually, as a word of advice to anyone who is using fibs, what I would usually recommend is that if you find a fib where, you see the price respected a lot, right? For example, I drew this fib, even though, right, I'm supposed to draw a fib from here to here, you can see that even though that is what I am supposed to do, when I use this fib right here, you can see that the price tends to respect it a lot, right? Look at how it bounced, if you've got support, you got sort of support, resistance over there, You sort of have support there. But most importantly, at the moment, right, look at how beautiful this is so far, right? Look at where it's getting rejected at. So when you find something that works as beautifully as this, stick with it, right? So let's figure out what are the higher targets of Solana based on this fib, right? And we're going to draw it just a tiny bit below, right? Notice how I'm drawing my take profit levels slightly below the level of the fib. And the reason why I do this is because, in a market, you're trying to take other people's money. So everyone's trying to take their money before you, right? So take their money before they take profit, right? Take their money before they take yours. So that is how I like to think of it. So those are going to be the levels that you're going to want to pay attention to. If Solana does continue up higher, then these are going to be the resistance points that you're going to want to pay attention to. That is $83.16, $98.1, just call it $98. This one, just call it $83. This one, 122.7, 162.5, 201.8, and 241.257. Now, if we do get to 241, like seriously, you better take profit there, okay? Now, am I saying that Solana is going to retrace back to this level? No, I'm not saying that that will happen. I'm saying, however, that if we were to get there, it's going to be a pretty good level to buy the pullback. And am I saying that Solana is going to get to $240? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is that if you can get to these levels, then these would be pretty good levels to take as your reference point to figure out exactly where you should be taking profit. So if you were in Solana at any point throughout this journey, you're going to want to take profit at any of these levels, right? Even at this top right here. And the way you do that is, again, dollar cost average. Just like how you scale in, you scale out, right? You never go all out. So for example, you might take 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, and leave the rest as a moving bag, right? For example, because nobody knows where's the exact bottom, nobody knows where's the exact top. So that's why you take profit and you scale in on the way down and on the way up. So that was the long-term Solana, levels that you should be paying attention to. And now let's try to narrow it down a little bit by drawing a shorter term fib on Solana and figure out, if there are any other levels that we should be paying attention to. And at the moment, these are the ones that you're going to want to pay attention to. So you can feel free to pause the video right now and take a screenshot. I'm already giving you the exact levels you should be paying attention to for Solana. So make sure you mark down these levels. Otherwise, there's nothing more that I can do to help you. And real quick, if you've been watching my channel for a while and you feel like, hey, this guy really seems to know what he's talking about, or maybe if you're following me on my Twitter, or maybe you watch my previous videos, for example, Polkadot yesterday, you know that I'm right a lot. And if you just want to learn how to do the things that I do, you're going to want to consider joining the private Discord group. Over here, you're going to get access to everything that I've learned over the years, and basically everything that you're going to need to become a proficient trader. You're going to learn the things that work and discount 90% of the things that don't. And as a bonus, you can get access to all of my trade setups. And as a bonus, you're going to get access to all of my profitable daily trading setups, as well as my sniper trades. I can't show you guys that, where people are making money literally every single day. And there have been multiple people in this Discord group who have already paid off their membership real quick. So if you want to join, head to the link in the description. I'm going to see you inside. It should pay itself off real quick. And as promised, for everyone who has stayed until the end of this video, this is going to be your bonus trading setup for the day. Now, we are taking a look at ADA right here. Now, you're going to want to draw this pattern right here. This is going to look somewhat like a bullish pendant, and you're going to want to mark down this level right here, and you're going to want to buy the breakout of 2.1365-ish. Right, so buying the breakout of this, I'm sure you guys know that ADA has news coming up in about 1 month away. So generally, when a coin has news, it tends to be really bullish. A lot of people, the herd, right? The herd buys news. So you're going to want to pay attention to ADA right here, and you're going to want to buy the breakout of that level. And the take profit targets, right, is going to be, right, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to draw another fib from swing top to swing low, and you can see again the 0.618 level is holding beautifully. So now that we know that we have found a fib that works, we're going to want to mark down the longer term targets, and it should bring us to $5. Bam, bang on, right? $5 as the top for ADA. So these are going to be the profit targets that you're going to want to look at, right? By the ADA breakout at 2.14-ish, and these are going to be your take profit targets. Make sure you mark them down on your own chart. Now, similarly, if you have been watching my videos, you should already know how to buy the breakout, but if you don't, buy the breakout or buy the retest, both of which stop loss right underneath. Bam. And just because I'm feeling generous and I really want to help you guys out, I want you to take a look at Filecoin. if you break this level at 76.466 by the breakout, it should bring you straight up to about over here, right? This is going to be your bearish order block. So this might not look very big on the daily chart, but if you zoom in just a little bit, this is a 12% trade easily. And if you break above this previous high right here, right? Notice this previous high right here. This is going to be entry number 2, by the way. If you do break above that previous high right there, it's going to take you straight up to the moon, right? Straight up. 1, 2, 3, right? This is about 30%. So this is going to be your entry number 2. You're going to want to look for a breakout of this level. It's going to bring you straight up to here. And if you break out of 76.5, it should bring you all the way up to here. So just so I know who are the real ones who stuck till the very end, I want you to comment down in the comment section FIL, right, Filecoin, and ADA, right, Phil and ADA. And I promise you guys, if you guys like these trading setups, make sure you watch till the end of the videos from now on. But anyways, remember, if you want to learn how to do this by yourself, check out our private Discord group. May the gains be with you. And before I go, remember, do not sleep on GRT, alright? GRT has such a big... Look, it's already moving. Hey, let's go. Don't sleep on GRT, right? This thing's gonna explode. But anyways, may the gains be with you, and peace.